So he still has the talent to win any race he steps on the road for.
Yeah.
He still has the talent to flirt with the world record, I think, again, but he doesn't have the invincibility talent, which makes racing Kipchoge now a little more interesting because now it's not a foregone conclusion the guy's going to win.
Yeah.
But he will still be, I think he could still win the next 3 marathons he runs.
Mm-hmm.
But those 3 marathons, it's not going to be a given. It's not going to be the invincibility situation. It's going to be, you're great, but you still lose.
And will those marathons be in Boston and New York? That's the question. Because if that was the goal and he put himself out there, and again, I give him credit for putting the goal out there, for continuing to challenge himself, because he could have just kept running London, Berlin, London, Berlin, London, Berlin. I also give him credit. I give him the Gordon Mack credit for not DNFing, because for a little bit there I thought, he might just step off.
No, you don't DNF.
He didn't DNF. He kept at it.
Let people have the wins over him.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not just one guy beating you. It's 5 guys. So was he 8th in London before? He's had 15, 16 guys.
This club is growing.
Yeah.
Pretty big club.
Club is growing. Jordan says, I don't watch marathons, and I felt a disturbance in the force when Kipchoge lost. Yeah, it looked bizarre. It looked strange. I wrote down a couple reasons, and we can debate which ones do you think contributed to his loss, which ones didn't. But go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, my last thing about the invincibility, he's not invincible anymore. He basically is exiting the Michael Jordan phase of his career, where he goes 6 for 6 every time he's in the finals. He's going to win, and now he's entering more like what's a good Kevin Durant career, where you're still or Giannis or whatever or anyone now, where you're the best, but you're not guaranteed to win every time. The way Michael Jordan was guaranteed to win and the best, now he's the best but not guaranteed to win, which makes it more interesting. Now it means there's a little more intrigue on his next race, because now it's not a foregone conclusion the guy's going to win.
Or is this 2020 again? Now, I know he's several years older than he was in 2020, but we were saying some of that same stuff in 2020.
True.
But then he won his next one, and we just said, oh, okay, well, 2020, that was weird. Different course.
COVID.
Crazy preparation, crazy lead up. But here's a couple reasons I wrote down. So, 1, tactics. He led a lot. He led so much, in fact, he was trying to get other people to lead, and they wouldn't. He got clipped at one point. Around halfway, he turned around and gestured to everybody, and nobody took the bait. Why would you? If you're running against Kipchoge, you're not going to give him any more advantage. So tactics. 2, preparation. He didn't run the race. He didn't run the course. He said that several times. He had a course in Kenya that he felt prepared him well. Obviously, this was different, a little hillier than most of his marathons. 3, right before he fell off the pack, right around 30K, he did miss a bottle. And I'm not going to say everything is about missing one bottle, but he did miss a bottle. But you contrast that to Klaus on the bike, the greatest co-star in running history, making sure he gets his fluids all the time. Now, he's running the Olympics and stuff.
And also, if he is his one linchpin or his entire greatness falls apart over a water bottle, is kind of wild.
Here's my so then there was 4. I wrote injury, and we don't know. We haven't heard him speak yet. But after he crossed the finish line, when he came over to his manager, you could see he pointed down to his leg and was grabbing his leg and shaking his head. Or 5, what you talked about before. This is just we've entered a different stage, and he still can win, but he also can have off races, and we have not seen that before. I'm thinking it's a combination. You pick 3 or 4 of these, perhaps, as reasons why he didn't manage today. But I feel similar to how I felt in London, though, 2020, where if it was just one guy who beat him and they went toe-to-toe, you'd think, okay, maybe this is a bit of a sea change in the marathon. But when he falls apart that early and a whole bunch of other people beat him, it makes me think he can make an adjustment. He can fix it. If he comes back to Boston next year, say he runs the fall, wherever he runs, but if he plans on coming back to Boston next year, that would be incredible to try to get this done, to try to do it. You said before you thought he had one or 2 chances at this thing. I mean, he would go against Chebet, who now he's won 2 in a row. Chebet would probably be considered the favorite of that, depending on what they do in the fall.
No, he wouldn't.
You don't think so?
No.
You sure?
Would you pick him?
No, I'm trying to get some money here. My point is this. Overall, you're less optimistic about the dominant Kipchoge future. But you also don't have a situation where you're thinking, all right, this thing is clearly over for him, right?
No, he still
Yeah.
he still finished almost top 5. And yes, he fell off. He wasn't in at the very end, but he wasn't like falling back into 9th or 10th or getting dropped super early in the race. I will say this. I think all this, well, your 5 things, tactics,
preparation, luck, injury, and
age.
Yep.
So I think tactics has nothing to do with it because it's 26 miles. Come on. We're overthinking it if it's tactics. Preparation, I think, has nothing to do with it because he's run 26 miles many times in his life.
All right.
The guy knows how to run marathons. Sure, he doesn't know the specific elevation, grade, and terrain and weather of Boston, but
compared to the guy who won it, who has now run it twice and won it twice.
I think we like to think it's more complicated than it really is.
Okay,
I
so
think
you
at
think
the
it's
end of the day,
all
you just got to be fit and ready to go and peak race.
So you think it's all just age at this point?
I think it is 80% age, 20% potential injury.
Okay.
We'll find out if he says anything, but I would say 80% age.
Yeah. I guess someone else mentioned the rain because that London 2020 race was in the rain as well. He's won in the rain before. That reminds me of the Rhodesia time when the only time David Rhodesia would lose 800s
was in the rain.
Was in the rain. There was something about the rain, but the rain to me would have been 6th of the weather in general. The injury stuff I always have problems with in marathons because unless you just drop out after 5K or something, you're like, my preparation was crap. My Achilles hurts. Because everybody has something towards the end of a marathon, and you tend to feel it more when you're not doing well than when you're doing better. I mean, if he runs a couple minutes faster, then he's fine. But I don't know. I don't see him going out like this. I don't see this as the dethroning in any way, shape, or form.